Hey, what's up? My name is Sebastian, and I'm currently the sole developer on the Delve, which is a dungeon, I don't know, crawler, I guess. It's a first person atmospheric dungeon game. I don't know what to call it. And it's what I've been kind of spending, I guess it's been like 4 months now working on. It's been really fun. And honestly, I just felt, hey, let's start a devlog. It's good because it helps me organize my thoughts on what I'm doing, why I'm doing them, and, well, just how far I've come. I've already gotten pretty far with the project, but I felt that, hey, I'm actually doing this, I'm actually going to be seeing this through to release. So it's kind of, I don't know, it's weird to face that reality, but I wanted to kind of get in on actually documenting what happens with the game because now I'm actually invested in what is happening. So I'm going to be doing these every now and then once I feel I've added a bit more to the game. So they're not going to be like every week, every month, every day. It's going to be a bit whenever. And the biggest reason for that is because I am currently enrolled in college for game programming, Skövde represent. And what that basically means is that I have to put my studies first. I have to put that priority one, and then the delve comes after it. I don't know if my well being takes priority over it, but we'll see, I guess. So, what I'm gonna spend this video doing is kind of going through what I have in the game and kind of showing you just what I've been doing, how I've been doing them, and why I've been doing them. And if you want to see an older build of the game, there is actually another video called like the pre-alpha showcase or something. It's the video before this one. And just check that out if you want to see the game as it were, well, basically before this video was released. I've been doing a lot of work. We're currently on the second level, and I am really looking forward to getting it forward. The game is currently in kind of level design stages. Like most of the mechanics are there. They just need a bit of fine tuning and a bit of extra details. So I'm really looking forward to it. But right now, as I said, I'm working on the second level of the game, which will start to mix in a bit of the cave environments, which will be fully introduced at level 5. And this is because it's kind of a continual shift in the biomes, I guess, of the game. It will go from a generic dungeon environment to a more natural cave environment, which will feature a lot of, well, natural geometry. Will feature arcs and stalactites and whatever. I don't know the English terms for geology, so I'm just gonna stop. But then it's gonna transition into other stages which I haven't finalized yet, and because they have a bigger impact on the game, I want to kind of keep them away from now. But hey, let's get into it. Okay, so welcome to the project. It may be a bit of noise in the background. It's because I have a very clicky keyboard. So sorry for that. But here we are. This is the beginning of the first stage. It's the same one from the other video, but I have done some other additions. Most of them are that I have finished one enemy. It's not really finished, and I also have some textures to do. I'm also working on a second enemy, which is like a giant mosquito. I really like the model. Since I'm a programmer, I'm not really good at modeling, which you may see I have not really tried. But yeah, so this is kind of how it looks right now. I use some normals and I think some height maps to get the stones to really look good. I really like how they look. If I could put on lighting again. Okay, so here you can see like how the walls react to how basically everything actually oh, I have forgot to ignore that. Well, I've been kind of working on making it react to light a lot because it helps with this game in particular, how atmospheric it is, and like it has to be atmospheric in order for this to work, because the game doesn't have enough on its own. Like it isn't exciting enough, I would say, which is kind of sad, but you know, here we are right now. You can see I have a text on top. And basically what that serves is this layer gonna be like when you start stage, it's gonna fade in with a map name or like a chapter name, or I haven't really decided. And it's gonna show that information to the player and then fade away. And I don't really know how to do this because I could do it on scene load, or I could do it with like a trigger. And the trigger could be nice because it could allow me to have sort of a part before, like this is the stage, so I can set up like a vista or something. While the scene on load thing would just be nice because it would be one less object that I have to place in the scene. But with how with how easy the game is to run right now, I've used Graphy, by the way, good shit. With how easy it is to run at the moment, it's not really a big worry for me. So I might just honestly do that. But basically, here's the game. You can walk around and you can see we have some ominous signs written in what appears to be blood. Nice, nice. We have a collapsing ceiling. Very abstract, I know. I'm shit at this. And here's the summoning circle, which you start at. And you can basically pick up anything. Well, I'm going to turn that off. You can basically pick up any small item in the scene, and basically the thing that you can do with them is I'm gonna use this to create puzzles, and also because if you need a ranged attack, the idea is that you're gonna be able to pick up sort of runes which will activate magic, and so through those runes we can usually use the same code for throwing items. So for example, you can throw rocks and they will, you know, depending on the weight of the item as well, which is a thing I've assigned to them, it will throw them different lengths. So for example, you can throw a torso. This is going to be a rib cage later. You can throw it, but you won't fly that far. You can throw a skull and it will fly a little bit further. You can throw a key and it will fly to hell. You can throw a bone and it's kind of in between, and kind of just that over and over again. And if we pick up the key again, I love how none of these texture because I'm extremely lazy. We can go to the store and just unlock it. So when you come through here, the first thing you're gonna see is that light. And because it's in the way, you're also gonna notice the sword, which you need to pick up, because otherwise you can't defend yourself other than throwing rocks and bones. So if you go through here, then congrats. Oh, why is that happening? Oh, okay, nice. We can fight these. The combat isn't really involved anymore. The combat isn't really involved at the moment. I'm working on that. I'm kind of seeing what has to be done. But here you can see a chest. Pick up another key and a bone, because that's awesome. And yeah, so if you don't use a key on it, it's just gonna... yeah, it's not gonna do anything. But if you do, then it's gonna unlock the door and open it. So that's nice. And so if we keep going here, you can see a bit of light here. Going down here, and there seems to be another guy there in the dark. Throw a fucking... well, I'll throw a bone at him. It doesn't do anything, but yeah, it's just kind of... I wanted to do something so bad because it's just so fun. You can go in and like mob enemies with rocks. It's just kind of fun, so I want to put it in. And hey, it's already basically halfway in. It just has to deal damage. So yeah, there's actually a bug here with the map. You can see the sword reflects the light or whatever, but the light is through the door. So yeah, that's an enemy. So yeah, I need to work on that. And also, yes, I did rip the effect from basically looking at a screenshot of Minecraft and tracing the effect. I'm gonna redo them. I'm just not... like, this isn't a priority. So, you know, I kind of had to do other things before that. But hey, let's go through and you can see another door in the dark, perhaps. There's nothing in here at the moment. And also, I noticed the sounds bug because it's not supposed to play... like the first sound it plays is actually the unlocking sound, but it's not supposed to play that if the door is already unlocked, so I need to fix that. Basically, you go through here, and this is the end of the first stage. You go on here, just like in the showcase, you go on here, and this is the end of the stage. It's gonna fade to black, and then transition into the second map. And the second map is sort of this bigger, better, badder design. I really enjoy the map so far. I feel like it's got something, so that's kind of nice. Oh, no. Oh. So if we move the player to the correct starting place. Which is kind of cool. So this is the one I'm actively working on. There are a lot of things to do, like giving this a texture, for example. So here we already have. I haven't expanded this place yet, but the goal is to make the player come here. And there's a locked door, and there's going to be like an open path going down here. And also here is kind of like this big place with a grate here. You know, you can't open it. Like there's this kind of lock thing, and like the grate and it's closed. You can't open it. So like, okay, so the goal is to make the player go down in here, find this key, pick it up, and use it on this door. And then when you come through here, there's going to be an enemy at the bottom there. And so what I'm hoping the player will do, it actually doesn't matter what the player does, but they will see the light and see the passageway. So they will go there instinctively. And what that will do, also another bug coming up, because that's fun. And so what that will do is it'll make the player go down here, and this light will turn on magically. And they will come down into this room, which will have green light, which kind of shows, okay, this is different. I need to notice this, because I haven't seen it before. So up on the pedestal is this spinning thing, and it's called a ornate key. So they're like, okay, it's a key. Nice. I need to find a lock. That's kind of the instinctive thing. So what I need to do is guide the player to where does this need to fit. So what I'm hopefully going to do, also the enemy is out here, by the way, I haven't placed them. So what I'm hoping the player will do is, through either texturing or some other connection, which I'll hopefully come up with, the player will realize, okay, I've been down there, I've been in here, let's go down here. And if they've already been here, they might have seen that. And so what I'm hoping to do is, on the texture, perhaps have a sort of gem or have a sign or something, so that the player will perhaps notice here, oh, okay, that's the same sign that's on the side of this key. So the player will come up here, place the key, the grate opens, and they can continue. And they will come to this collapsed hallway with rocks at the end. The rocks don't actually have collision yet, which is great. And they will come through this sign again. And they will come through to this cave-ish environment. I haven't finished this shader yet for the water. I need to still work on it, and the texture is terrible. So yeah, but this is kind of as far as I've come on the second stage. I have some vegetation here. I think it looks kind of nice. And yeah, this is kind of what I'm working on. I also made like a decal, so I can make some like vines. So it looks a bit more... I kind of wanted to introduce a lot more vegetation, a lot more natural environments in here, because the first section is very man-made, and so introducing a very natural environment kind of shows, okay, like what is this thing that I'm going through? Because if I keep blending the cave and the dungeon environments the further the player gets, then by stage 5, as I mentioned, I want them to just be in a cave environment. I just want them to be in the cave environment for the entire stage, so that when I later start introducing another aspect or another environment, I want to be like, okay, now we go over, and then boom, stage 10, just the entire thing. That's the entire thing. And it just kind of keeps going like that until you reach the final environment and the game ends with sort of a boss fight or something. I haven't decided. I have some ideas, but it's nothing decided. So, that's kind of the general idea of it. I'll probably go through like the individual things, how they work in later parts, while I'm working on like fixing them and updating them and adding more variety. And the last thing I'm actually going to show is something I'm working on the side. And it's kind of, I want sort of a promotional-ish thing for the game. I want to kind of have an image that will set the right mood and show the right thing. So what I'm working on is this thing. It's an actual enemy which I'll introduce later, and I'm hopefully it'll creep the shit out of players. That's kind of the goal of it. So what the thing is, I'm actually working on the texture of it right now. So yeah, but basically what I'm hoping it will do is set a mood. So what I've done is I've kind of set a scene for an example, and so if I render this, you can see this is kind of like a promotional artwork for the game, and I really like how it kind of, I really enjoy the atmosphere this sets. It sets sort of a mystical, but at the same time something evil hiding in the shadows setting. I really enjoy it. I think this shows what I want the game to feel like. I want it to feel very alone. I want you to feel kind of paranoid and claustrophobic. And that when these enemies, called the Revenants for now, get introduced, that's kind of when they're kind of the horror aspect of the game. What they're basically going to do is they're going to be completely silent, and they're going to have a above average range, so that if I introduce these bigger environments, then what I hope will happen is that you'll kind of just go, and then you will see this thing floating out through the darkness, making just like a low rumble noise, and then we'll just float out through the darkness and just point at you. And then when they reach a certain distance, I don't know what will happen, but I think that I want them to do like a projectile attack of some sort. I haven't decided yet. Perhaps electricity? And that's kind of the idea, so that when you hear this low rumbling noise, you'll kind of know, oh shit, a revenant is like coming after me. That's the feeling I want. That's the emotion I want you to feel at that second. So it's really important for me to get that right. And it's not going to be introduced until the middle of the game for pretty obvious reasons. I want to set up an expectation of the first stage where I have these incredibly generic environments, and then as I build, I want to kind of make more intricate things, and I want to show like, oh, okay, I was under this impression that it was some shitty, like, really basic dungeon game, and then I want to kind of include more and more fantastical things until it builds to this big climax and then just ends. You know, kind of pulling the rug out from under everyone and just like being like, the game's over. And it's not going to be that anticlimactic, it's going to be climactic, but it's just going to be as soon as the game kind of begins that descent in extremity and kind of fascination, it's going to be like a nice ending to like cut it off. So I'm hoping this works out. Really, really, really hoping. And so yeah, I'm going to keep doing this devlog. I think it's really fun. I think it's really useful information, and I think it's good for me to get this out there so it's not just in my head. So if anything, these videos are for me to be able to go back and be like, okay, that's what I was thinking. That's what I was doing with this thing. And one thing that sucks is that I didn't want to show anything in the game. I didn't want to show my hand, so to speak. I didn't want to show the Revenant. I didn't want this, but I kind of gave up the Revenant when I used it for a promotional image. And so I'm kind of showing part of my hand. I haven't said anything except the cave environment. You haven't seen anything except the, beyond the cave environment. So I'm keeping it on wraps. I have it all planned out till the end. But I just want to keep it on the wraps, so to speak, because I don't want you guys to know exactly what it is. So I'm going to be showing small snippets of what I'm doing, the features I'm working on. It's not going to be everything. It's not going to be everything. It's going to be some things, and that's about it. So, yeah, I hope you gained something from this. I certainly enjoyed recording it. I love showing off what I'm working on, and yeah, if you do have any if there's anyone watching this who have any questions, please just ask me. It can be anything from how systems work in it, and I will try to have a small section answering it in a future devlog. Yeah, so, but with that, thank you for watching, I guess.